can't give you an update. I don't have an update. Still being examined.
Looked like his hand might have been stepped on with a skate.
I'll give you an update when I know more information.
Okay. Obviously, a lot of concern, though, when you see a teammate get hurt like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the blood, yeah.
Is it as simple as a game that you guys liked in the first and second that just got entirely derailed by penalties?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I think the first, the chances they're getting are early. It was a lot of them off the rush. It's a four-man rush, and so our puck management in the first, our execution with the puck wasn't great. It was much better in the second, and that's why we started to play faster, and we spent more time in their zone. 5-on-5, I think we spent a couple more minutes 5-on-5 in their zone. That being said, I think we can still do a better job managing the puck in their zone because, again, as soon as we take a shot and there's a loose puck, they're getting and they're gone. So I think we can tighten that up. That's an area we'll look at. And clearly the discipline in the third period and the penalty kill just took us out of the game.
I'm not sure if this would be the reason for the kind of lower shot goals that you had in some games. Does your team need more of a shooting mentality than it's not right now?
Us? Yes. Yeah, I still think we're again, I think we're 5.5, whatever, in their zone. I think we still pass up too many shooting opportunities for sure. But again, we got to stop looking for that extra play. Just do what they do, throw it at the net. But when we did that, they were getting the retrievals and coming out for. So we got to be careful watching that too, because that's where they're so strong is off the rush. So we can't waste throw shots. We got to make sure they're having a good chance. But there's a couple of times that we had two forwards going, swinging in behind the net, looking for those pucks, and that's why they're getting those odd men. So listen, we can play better than that. There's good parts of the game. The discipline, staying out of the box is going to be a huge factor for us.
How do you explain that, Rick? There's no similar theme, I guess, to the penalties.
No.
Mason's the offensive zone, just an errant stick.
Yeah, but again, he's trying to take a shot at with the puck. The guy follows through and gets it. Listen, they made the calls. They made the calls. We're not even going to get into that.
How do you sell this to your group? You're down 2-1 in the two losses. You've led both those games in the second period. So do you try and focus more on that?
Yep. Listen, there's 3 series out east that are 3-zip. We're 2-1. They won a game in our rink. We have to come in here and win a game in their rink. It's as simple as that. So 3-2, 6-2, we lost the game. All our focus now is getting ready for Sunday afternoon. Slow them down. You slow them down with better puck management in their zone, and making sure that we don't get our forwards trapped deep, because again their D are coming. So we really, it is puck management in their zone and making sure that we have good support on the puck and making sure there's always someone above. Like if it's a 4-on-3, we can live with that. Well, they had a couple of 4-on-2s, and they do they do an excellent job of pushing our D back and gaining the blue line and turning up and finding that second wave. So our forwards are going to have to reload and know exactly where they're going to take away that rush.
Colorado's power play. Last one gets looks so dangerous. It's a bit of a shooting gallery out there. So
yep.
What's one key to
Well, if we can win the face-off and get it down the ice, and then get a little more aggressive up ice, so they're not getting in, and then on their entries be a little more aggressive. Once they get control of it, then we've got to protect the seams better, and we've got to protect that down and in that they found a couple of times. So then it's a matter of tightening up and cutting that ice in half. We can do a better job with that. Good. Thanks.
This for either one of you. You think about that third period. Yes, there's the power play, but what are those things that you think allowed you to not only pull ahead in the third, but play in such a way where you made it so hard for them to even try to come back?
Yeah, I think, for us, being down one in the third there, we didn't sit back on our heels, and I think we kind of just took it to them. And, when we play with that speed, we play with that energy, we're a good team. And, obviously we had some power plays there, but, we drew them with hard work and, getting in on the forecheck and kind of, putting them under pressure. So it all starts with that. So I think credit to the guys in the room for just, sticking with the process and kind of, putting ourselves in a good situation.
Casey, you played with Zach Parise tonight, and obviously he plays a lot of passion, a lot of energies. How much did your line feed off of what he was doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in the room looks up to Zach, me especially, being a Minnesota kid. So it was an honor to play with him, and he did a heck of a job. I mean, he's flying around out there, hitting guys, making plays. So he made my job easy tonight.
Sam Girard missed a couple weeks with a concussion and stepped right into the lineup tonight, just seamlessly in the playoffs. Could you just talk about him and what kind of an impact he makes on the defense?
Yeah, no, G's huge. He's a big part of this team. Obviously, he was, a huge part of that team when they won the Cup. So, anytime we have a guy out of the lineup, it's obviously tough. But, we have a deep locker room and kind of just next guy mentality. So, I give a lot of credit to Jonesy, who stepped up in games 1 and 2 and played, phenomenal for us. But, having G back there is just, he's another guy who gets up in the offense. He was a big part of that goal that we scored there at the end of that power play. So, he kind of looked, right at home there.
Casey, you touched on Zach Parise, but between him, Lehkonen, and Val, the 3 wingers you've played with, it's a lot of playoff experience. How much of those guys helped you kind of adjust in these 3 games? And then two-parter, second part, you spoke this morning about high expectations for the crowd. Where did that, did they meet that?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially Lecky's kind of been pretty consistent. He's been talking to me a ton and helped me out. I think there was a little bit of a rough patch just trying to figure out where I am. And I definitely owe Lecky a lot for that, and the other 2 guys as well. On the other side, yeah, I mean, the crowd was insane. So my high expectations were blown out of the water for sure.
Casey, you've talked about just getting more comfortable with the system and feeling like you were overthinking it first and just kind of not doing that. Was that like the epitome of you following your instincts tonight and just being really dialed in on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you get more comfortable, just keep playing, and eventually those things take over. And especially in a big game like that, I think you got to go out there and just play. It's do or die. So, yeah, I think you could say that. And obviously, like we've said, Lecky and Zach had huge games, and they were feeding me the puck all over. So a lot of credit to them.
Ross, when the emotions boil over at the end of that game, obviously the Jets are taking penalties, but even after the final buzzer, what is your view of that? Do you see that as a vulnerability that you could take advantage of going into Game 4?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. Obviously, it's a physical game. I think, for them, they, played a good game and then kind of boils over in the third and kind of emotions run high, and I think they're just trying to set the tone for the next one. So for us, we just want to play our game. We kind of don't want to get involved in that stuff. We want to play between the whistles. We had, a lot of time there to play physical, play our game. I thought we did a really good job of that. So for us, we kind of just want to stay out of that stuff.
Last 2, Ryan and BMAC.
It's for either one of you again. Yes, there's the 2 goals you give up, but given all the contributions you had from everyone in the lineup, is this almost close, or if not the perfect game in a sense, or is it still you're kind of far away from that word?
Yeah, I think we definitely could have maybe played better in the first and even parts of the second. I thought, like Coach said, in between periods, like halfway through the second, thought we found our rhythm and found our game and started pinning them back a little bit. And I thought that carried over into the third. But, yeah, I mean, since I've been here, I thought the third was maybe the best period we've played. So from there, though, I think we can maybe have a little better start and, just keep playing.
When you guys see blood scraped off the ice, does it change anything in your mentality?
I mean, yeah, you kind of just hope that everyone's okay. I mean, there was a lot of blood there, so I don't know. I think it was Dylan, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, obviously it's a battle out there, and he's a warrior, so, I mean, hopefully he's okay for the next game.
Thanks, guys. Jared will be here in a second.
Jared, when you look at the third period, yes, there's the power play and the fact you're able to take advantage of it, but how do you assess a period where it felt like you never really let them gain control and it just seems like it snowballed from there?
Well, the power plays what gave us the life, right? Like, but you got to earn your penalties too. You know, like I thought it was hard fought, hard checking game. Offense was tough to come by. You know, skilled players are making some plays, and you get some opportunities if you get the right bounce, rebound, etc. But there wasn't a whole lot of room to move, which was fine. You know, that's what we expected. And then eventually we kind of work and get the power plays. And, I mean, power play came up huge. It's the difference in the hockey game for us tonight.
You've talked a lot about the second line, and Parisi and Lekkinen are scoring a lot, but Casey Middlestat today has 3 assists, and specifically on the Lekkinen one, just kind of waits out the goalie and then passes it. Just how much has his game evolved? You told me a week ago he was kind of in a lull to end the regular season. Just what have you seen from him in these 3 games?
He's turned up his intensity of his game. It's like that. That's what. So you notice the great pass. You know, it's a skilled play, high skilled play. He makes a few other high-skilled plays that lead to scoring chances tonight. But I was most impressed with him with his wall work. Like, he's been heavy and strong on pucks on the D-zone walls and O-zone walls. Guys trying to check him. He's comfortable with guys playing on his back, reaching around him, continues to move his feet. And he's a guy that once it's on his stick, he can survey the ice and check off option 1, 2, 3, etc. You know, and then it's just making the right decision from there. So I just think it's intensity, it's excitement to play this time of year, and his game's gone to a whole new level, and he showed it here tonight.
Obviously, the third period scoring explosion gets a lot of attention, but to play your goaltender back-to-back games now, the start of the third, I mean, you're in that because of the way Georgia was playing between the pipes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought, you know, again, scoring chances were hard to come by, but we have some breakdowns, right? Like, and some I didn't like, and when we had him, he was there. He made big saves. A breakaway goal off the control forecheck, huge save. We go back down, get a chance at the other end. I mean, he was doing that all night. He looked strong down low around the net. Wasn't giving up a bunch of rebounds. And I thought our team did a nice job in front of him too, like blocking shots and getting in the shooting lanes and knocking pucks down. But you know, you throw a lot of pucks to the net like we are and like they are. There's going to be pucks that people track down and you need to save. And I thought he was awesome again tonight. You know, so it gives us time to like just keep chipping away, and eventually we earn some power plays and capitalize on them. But yeah, I mean, Gorgie, first star for me tonight.
Coach, how fine of a line do you want the guys to get to between the intensity you need and getting out of control? Where's that line for you?
I think you have to give the intensity that you need at all times, you know, and if that requires a little bit of some extracurriculars, so be it. You know, we don't want to get pushed out of a game. We got some big, strong guys and tough guys, and we want to be a physical team, and we have been. We were tonight. You know, both teams were. It was a well-played, disciplined hockey game, you know, and we came out on the top. We got to go try and do it again.
Coach Devontae's takes it, sticks a face, blood all over the ice, has a 2-point night. What does that say about him as a player to just have that kind of warrior mentality?
Tough to keep guys out of the lineup and off the ice this time of year. Like the further you go, the more games you play this time of the year with the intensity and physicality of the game, you know, everyone's going to be dealing with something, you know, but they also know how important it is, and it's win or go home, you know, so you know, it doesn't surprise me that he came back, guys. You know, that's what we've come to expect from hockey players, and you know, that's scary when you see a guy go down and stay down and there's blood all over the ice. You know, you never want to see it, but yeah, get him back there a couple minutes later, quicker than I thought he'd be back actually. So it makes an impact right away.
Sam Girard comes back after a couple-week absence. What kind of impact did he make, and then also his ability to step into an intense situation after a couple weeks?
Yeah, off? I thought he was great. Yeah, well, he's been working, you know, like that's the one thing is, even though he was working back he was able to go on the ice and stay on the ice and keep his hands and keep his legs. So that's really important. It doesn't mean he wasn't dealing with some stuff along the way. But you look at his breakouts, his ability to escape the forecheck. I mean, G's a complete 200-foot player, right? Offensively, defensively, makes an impact, but he really helps on the breakouts for us.
Granted, it's still early, but you think about the contributions you received tonight. How much of a contrast is that compared to last year's first round, where it felt like trying to get that depth everywhere was a little bit more of a challenge?
Well, last year we had no goals outside of our top 3 forwards and defensemen. This year, I don't know. You'd have to total it up, but it's huge contributions. We're a deeper team. There's no question about it. We're playing a really good opponent, and we're still finding a way to chip in through the lineup. And like I said, you need it this time of the year. When you eliminate 16 teams now in the league with what the Cap's been doing the last handful of years, you're playing a good team no matter what. And not that we didn't last year, but, I mean, the lack of scoring is a lot of pressure on our top guys to just get it done, and we just couldn't find the back of the net with anybody else. So this year it's a different story, so far anyway.
Coach, you talked to us about Nate's commitment to play a 200-foot game in the last couple of years in the playoffs. It's early, and he's still getting his points, but are you starting to see that part of his game really ramp up to the level that you want in the playoffs?
Well, I thought he was outstanding in Winnipeg. Outstanding. I thought those guys had a tough start to the game tonight, our top line. And they got better as the game went on, and then they made an impact when it mattered most in the third period. But he's been in that mode for a little while here, right? Trying to dig us out of the little slump we had going in. I thought that line, him especially, during that 9-1 stretch, it was a complete hockey game. It wasn't just looking for points. And as many points as he's had, it sounds absurd to say that he's just not looking for points. He understands how to play the right way. He's learned that over the course of his career, and he's pretty consistent with it throughout the course of the year. And you see it usually it's not that he's more committed to it in the playoffs. It's just that it's tougher to do during the playoffs, to shut teams down, to still create. But he finds a way.
You mentioned there being a tough time generating a ton of scoring chances. But every once in a while, you guys have a flurry of shots, power play for sure, 5-on-5 in stretches. And you guys are often first on those rebounds and those loose pucks. Is that a mentality thing? Can it be taught? Why are you winning the box-out battle?
Well, I think it goes in spurts for both teams. Sometimes you need in order to win the net from battle, sometimes it's just you could throw pucks to the net there for 30 minutes and not get the rebound you want. And you might track them down, but you're not creating any scoring chances out of it. And then you shoot it 5 more times, you get 5 great rebounds that you like. It's about getting to the right spots. It's certainly taught. It certainly has to be a mentality this time of the year. You got to get to the interior of the ice as hard as it is, and you got to keep battling. So, I mean, they're doing it. I felt like they won that battle in game 1. I don't know. I have to look at all of them to say that we won it tonight, but we certainly did some good things, and we've been hungry around the net in the first 3 games. So, got to continue with that because that's what's leading to scoring chances for us.
Last 2, Megan, then Colin. You mentioned the power play advantage in the third period, but even before that, does it give you a sense of confidence playing at home that you can make the necessary push entering that period down a goal?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just regardless of home or road. It certainly helps when you get your fans cheering you on. I thought the crowd was outstanding tonight, from the second we stepped out of the locker room. And they help. It helps keep the energy and juice up. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's a tough question to answer. We go with the mentality that the only score that matters is the one at the end of the game. We're not going to get rattled up to, down to, or we're trying not to. We just want to stick to our process, right? It's what we've been preaching all year. We've been really good at it. We've come back in a lot of games this year. Some of them we've had good starts and fallen behind. Some of them we have had poor starts and fallen behind. But regardless, you got to try to fight and find your game, and you got to try to stick with your process right till the final buzzer. And that's regardless of the game's in hand or if it's still up for grabs, you know. And I do think that our guys believe that we can come back because of the firepower we have. I mean, we finished first in scoring in the entire league, so we should feel like if we're doing it right and we stick with it, that we're going to get some opportunities. Finding the back of the net some nights is easier than others, but you got to stick with what works for you, and our guys know what that is.
Coach, quick turnaround, late game tonight, and back at it at 12:30 on Sunday. Is that kind of an advantage or a disadvantage with how the team was,
Neither.
the momentum?
I don't think it's either. It's reset and go again. You know, like they get the exact same rest we have. It's the beauty of the playoffs. It's an even playing field when the puck puck drops next game. It's just that simple. Thank you, Jerry. Yep, thanks.